Give me a second. At the last minute, things moved. I slipped around and suddenly wasn't comfortable. Brand new cable, folks. And every time I move, it's connecting and disconnecting, and I don't know if it's the cable or if it's the cigarette lighter adapter. I'm not sure what's happening. Let's get squared up here. Am I bright enough? How's the audio? How's the video? Is everything okay? I am leaning in a little bit again now. I guess that's okay. How are we doing? You're looking marvellous. Okay, folks. I will give it a couple of minutes for people to arrive. I've got warm beverages, really literally just made, so they're going to be way too hot for way too long. I discovered that the can that I'm on is about 3/4 empty, so I had to get the next one ready already. But that means that there's not enough space on here for me to bring the hot drinks down unless I adapt and adjust. It's all very last minute, folks. I've literally just made the coffee and brought that in. I haven't even looked. See, I released a video this evening, didn't I? But then I went to sleep. I haven't even looked at whether anybody's watched that. Did it set off okay? That's not the right app. Hold on. Hold everything. Wait a minute now. Hold on. We'll get here. Okay, nobody unsubscribed. Just over 2 hours and only 41 views. Okay. I guess nobody wants my videos anymore. Maybe you're just not interested in me and my cooking Yorkshire puddings. It went better. It didn't go perfect. Trying to do them in a pan, I'm going to give up on that idea, I think. Or doing them over a stove rather than an oven. That's what I mean, rather than a pan. I did try it. I have a four, what do you call the holes in a baking sheet? I don't know. Whoa, Nelly. You're on can. I've never heard the substance. Oh, Zami. Okay, Zami is here. Zami Adams. Hello, hello. Oh, there was Farmer. Hello, welcome everyone, everybody, everywhere. Hi, Mike. Welcome. Hello, Delta Mike. Said Fabrizio. Farmer. You're on can. I don't know, on can. I've got cans of beer. I've got coffee as well, but that's far too... I'm actually going to take the lid off the coffee. There's no point having something that's too hot and keeping the insulating lid on, is there? That's counterintuitive. I caught your meal video now. With time to watch it. Anthony's in the house. Hello, Anthony, my friend. Anthony usually says hi and then I never hear from him again. He doesn't stick around. How are you doing, pal? How are things back in Ireland? Okay, I've got Tina here, but she's under the cover. She's wide awake. We've just walked. This is why it's always such a rush. I wait until half an hour before the stream. Then I've got to walk the dog, make the coffee, bring the EcoFlow over, sort out all the wires, plug the various bits in, bring the tripod across. We all by now should be familiar with the tripod. The tripod is these three, well, the three that are under the light. The one next to it is the replacement for this one because I'm so far behind with my drinking. I got the next one lined up and ready. But I've also got this coffee, and there's another one. You won't be able to see it. It's the green can up there. I am shy, Mike, still watching. You're one of my lurkers, my friend. One of the lurkers. Let me turn around this way. It's good to have everybody here anyway, folks. We're already up around 9, 10, 11 people here. That's more than we had this time last week, I think. I don't think that stream really happened. It's very quiet. The Sundays are a little bit awkward because it's only 2 days since we did the Friday night one, isn't it? And if I run out of things to talk about on Friday, what the hell am I going to talk about today? I'll find something. With your help, folks, with your help, I need you to prompt me questions, especially the lurkers. Step out of the shadows, come and say hello, introduce yourself, ask your questions. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. As I said, I am the eponymous hero of the story, Delta Mike, together with my good lady here, my Tina doggy darling, who's laying in bed next to me. We are down and out in Torrevieja, down and out, homeless, tramp, hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. There's another one goes on the end there somewhere that I'm missing one somewhere. I'm going to have to look back through my notes. I think I've dropped one or two of these terms. Some would say a bum, someone who sleeps rough, perhaps on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Nowadays in a tent in a field, so that's an improvement. You are watching a TrampCast Hangout. Now, TrampCast is a program that seems to have dropped off the map. It's where I used to discuss my week. I used to review. It was a week in review. That was the week that was. It was originally called, but I couldn't keep ripping off the BBC TV series title. So I came up with my own name eventually and called it TrampCast. It's a tramp doing a broadcast, based upon a guy called Yellow Flash, who does a program called Flashcast. I borrowed the idea and substituted yellow for tramp. Oh, substitute flash, Yellow Flash, Flashcast. Substituted flash for TrampCast. But that's kind of fallen by the way a little bit. I may pick it up one day if the mood takes me. But this is a hangout. This is a just chatting. This is me talking with you. I'm open to questions. I will answer anything about tramp life, my life, the world in general. I like my science and a little bit of mathematics. I don't claim to be an expert. Maths a little bit, but more statistics than any higher dimensional fucking. Some of that stuff loses me. But we cover a little bit of science from time to time, latest happenings and developments. For example, the Artemis 2 launch scheduled for any time in the next 3, 4, 8 weeks. They can't make up their minds, but they have just spent a day or so moving things out and stacking things up and getting things ready for flying around. The press keep talking about it being going to the moon. Kind of yes, kind of no. We're going around the moon. We're going to go there, loop around and come back. I don't even think we're doing a full orbit. I think we're just doing 180 around it and coming back. A little bit disappointing that, where are we now? From 69 to now. It's a good 65, 66 years, 65 and a half years, I think it is. And we've taken a massive back step, haven't we? We've taken a step backwards. But that's the state of science and the world at the minute in many ways. But anyway, I think I was saying, Delta Mike, down and out. I didn't explain the Torrevieja part. Torrevieja is a city on the southeast coast of Spain. Some of you have been here. Some of you have been here in the camp, helping a guy out. I am a Brit trapped in Spain by circumstances. For anybody wondering about the whole tramp thing, I use the term a little bit loosely, a little bit, I'm not going to say hyperbolic, but it's a little bit performative, you might say. Definitely homeless. No access to my money. So as a quick summary for anyone new who might be lurking out there, my bank don't recognize that I'm me, therefore won't let me have, to protect my money, they won't let me have my money because I might not be me, if that makes sense. And the only method they've given me to identify myself and claim my money back is to walk into my branch in Britain. Little legal issue this end means I can't leave the country. And there you go, catch-22, isn't it? Got to go to the UK to get your money. Got to get your money and sort out your legal stuff before you can get back to the UK. And 3 years in a field. Anyway, let me introduce you to my co-presenter, I guess, to my partner in should I say partner in crime after what I've just said about not being able to leave the country. Here we go, folks. I'm gonna turn the camera. I didn't really want you to look down the side of the bed. It's a bit of a mess. Here's my girl, though. Hey, babe. We're talking to the peoples. Hello, you. Hello, you. Hello. Yeah. Come and talk to the peoples. Uncle Anthony's out there. Uncle Anthony's out there. Maybe Auntie Karen will pop in later. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe some of our other friends. Eh? Uncle Tom's back in Ireland, isn't he? Eh? Okay, darling. Hey. Yeah, Uncle Anthony that gave you the collar. I just took that back in under there. That's bending the wrong way a little bit. You've been laying on it funny. Okay, folks, that's my Tina girl. I like to introduce her. I don't want to pander to her too much. She's getting above her station. No, I don't want the channel to become one that just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say abuses the dog. That's not what I mean, but you know what I mean. She likes to come and talk to the peoples and say hello every now and again, but we don't want to exploit her. Exploit was a better word than abuse. Hannah, hello Hannah. There was Anthony. I didn't see. Okay, here we go, folks. For anyone watching, whether you're watching here live right now or on replay, on demand, whatever you want to call, there's various words, on catch up, on demand, whatever phraseology you want to use. You want to have chat open, even on replay, on demand. You want live chat replay. So if you're here now, that's live chat. If you watch this on replay, that's live chat replay. In either eventuality, don't just leave chat as it is. It will hide messages from you. I may respond to a chat that you can't see. Now there's two ways that can happen. One is that you're watching top chat, the default chat, and haven't set it to all chat. It's called something like, for me, it's called live chat, all messages are visible. I'm just touching that now and I'll go back through and see what I've missed. So that's one way that you might miss a chat, or I might respond to someone that you don't see. Another is if either I later block them, or if it was a subscriber only, I think if they block me as well, or if it was a subscriber only chat and they unsubscribe, the messages might get removed. So there are a couple of ways that I could be responding to things that you don't see. But let me just scroll back. I'm going to go back to the beginning because it's not that long ago. So it was Fama Zami. I'm scrolling. There was Anthony saying hello. Yeah, Hannah, I didn't see Hannah to begin with. I saw Anthony say, I'm shy, Mike, but I think I skipped past Hannah. Or chat did. Anthony's a lounger, not a lurker, Mike. Yeah, okay, we can argue about terminology. Scotland for the World Cup 2026. Yeah, I remember 78. Back then you had a proper team. Souness, Dalglish, Archie Gemmell. Don't think Alan Hansen was in defence yet. That might have been the next one around. 78. Oh, who else? There was one or two more Liverpool players in there. Memory, don't know. They put up a good show, I think, in 78, but then when they got knocked out, Which one was the Argentina? Which was in that? Was 78 in Argentina or was 82 in Argentina? Somebody sang a song after they got knocked out in 78. Somebody sang a song about there's always 82. But I don't think they got there again, did they? Whoa. So, Farmer's asking, I think Scotland's going to win the World Cup. I want to say Italy, but lost to Norway, so I don't think able to qualify now. Hello, Tina, says Farmer. Hello, Tina. See, she's happy because it's early, Mike. It's not too early. I had to reschedule from 10 to 30:30 because of cooking. My God, that must have taken 3 hours today. If you look at the opening when I say hey, it's what was it, like 2:15 or something, and then if you look at the closing where I did the addendum where I came back and showed the plastic box, the Tupperware with food in, and I said the time again. There must be 3 hours between the two. Trying to cook all of that on one stove, on one ring. Yeah, and I had to do the roast potatoes in 2 batches because I did them in one of the smaller frying pans. Again, contradiction in terms, roast potatoes in a frying pan. I don't have an oven, what can you do? You can only do what you can do. So yeah, folks, it was a bit of a, and the table that I was prepping on when I was peeling all the veg and chopping all the veg. I know I didn't do a full-on cookery video. I didn't show you the whole thing. I just showed you the result and still managed to waffle on for nearly half an hour. It's a skill that I have. Apparently I can talk. I never knew this before. I was the shy, quiet bloke in the corner. Was that pancake the Yorkshire pudding? It was. It did. I'll be fair to myself. It did come up at the edges, a fair way, but the bottom was starting to get a little bit, let's say, over browned. So I ended up having to turn it over again, which of course flattened it back down and made it sink back in on itself. So you couldn't really see it didn't raise. The ones I did in the 4-cup Yorkshire pudding tray, those did rise. But I had to come inside to get something, and I got tied up with something, and I went back out. They'd kind of singed a little bit at the edges. So I focused on the big one cut in half rather than the 4 little burnt ones. They were only burnt. They'd got a black ring around the top where the oil had kind of come over. I think I put a little bit too much oil in. But yeah, no, the Yorkshire pudding was the closest I've got so far. The taste was spot on. The other ones haven't been bad for taste, but maybe the texture, and they were a little dense and a little bit. This was lighter and airier, but because I'd had to turn it over, I think was the main thing. I'm going to give up on Yorkshire puddings in a frying pan unless I see somebody. I'll do a search online later. I know that the Dutch do a similar thing called the Dutch baby, but then they do theirs. They start it on the hob, on the front, in the front, and then put the pan into the oven. So I might look at what the difference is in the recipe. But even then, if I follow that, you got to bear in mind my stove's outside in a wind, a breeze. It's not as warm as being in a nice warm kitchen. It's not gonna. The heat is getting wicked away, which means having to turn the heat. You got direct heat from the flame underneath rather than an oven with a more indirect heat to roast the whole thing. We'll see. I'm not sure whether I'm going to bother again. I will if I can see a way forward, if I can try or experiment. But I've had 3 goes now, and it hasn't come off. Hey ho. Let me see whether my coffee is... sorry, waving my hand in front of the camera. That is suitably cooled. We can put the lid back on. As long as I remember that the lid leaks. Between the cup and the lid, liquid comes out. Okay, folks. Let me have I'm going to grab my tablet and I'm going to have a quick look at what the weather forecast says, because that seems to be a bit variable at the minute. I think it's going to be another cold night. A very clear sky. Well, no. Fairly clear sky, but I could only see half a dozen clouds because there's like a thin high cloud. Okay, it's currently 9 degrees. Wasn't it Friday? It was like 13 or 14 degrees at this time. We're already down to 9. But it's not going to fall much. Look at that. The last time I checked this, a few hours ago, there was going to be 1 hour of rain in the night. There's now going to be 4. And tomorrow, okay, I'll stop the sentence I was about to say. Tomorrow was going to be cloudy all day, and the day after was going to be rain. We've now got a cloudy morning followed by a sunny afternoon. I thought I was going to have to preserve the power. I was worried about the EcoFlow and the fridge, or the freezer, whichever. Oh, I got it cold today. I got down to -15, and it kept at -15 for a few hours in the freezer. That'll be like the air temperature momentarily as it's on, and it stayed there. But the beer didn't freeze, but the veg did. When I was prepping my carrots, leeks, and celery, they were frozen. So that was fun. But I've actually got some sun tomorrow afternoon now, so that's an improvement. Let me just check the day. I got to switch to a different app to check the day after. No, it's not really an app. The Google search used to be 1 click, now it's 2, and it's fucking annoying. So let me look at this. Here's Sunday into Monday. Now that's, yeah. Well, the timing's a bit different, but yeah, sunny afternoon tomorrow. Monday, again, sunny afternoon. Those were going to be cloudy and then rainy. That's okay. The rain's all on Tuesday now. Only in the morning. No, until about 2.2 millimeters. Where's it all gone? They were talking about 10 or 11 millimeters, and it's all, as we get closer to the predicted time slot, they've been backing off from rain and backing off and backing off, which, don't get me wrong, when the bad weather disappears and doesn't actually arrive, I'm glad. It's just annoying that I've got all prepared and keyed up. I lost a power bank, what, a week ago? The last time we had one of these where I was expecting 3 or 4 days with no sun, I got the power bank charged, and then I couldn't find it. Bloody thing was on the floor in the wet, and I think it's now broken. Fortunately, my mate Joby gave me a power bank in the interim. So if the EcoFlow does get flat at any point, I do have like a standby. And our friend Josie, who's often here in chat, she brought me one a little while back. And I'll be honest, my first experience of it weren't great. I had it on 4 lights and went to plug something in and it went straight to flashing the last light and ran out. It did charge stuff for about 10 minutes, which meant I got about an hour's use out of whatever the device was, phone or tablet. But after that, I found it didn't hold charge, or it seemed it didn't hold charge. I would charge it up, and then when I come to use it, say the day after, the power was gone. This was charged 10 days or 2 weeks ago, and it's still on full power. And I confirmed it by plugging it in a couple of days ago to charge, and it charged for about a minute or a minute and a half, and then it stopped. It's better than I thought it was. It's very lightweight. It probably doesn't pack that much storage. It certainly isn't the claimed amount of storage, which must have been on some packaging or something. It doesn't actually claim anything on it, on the back. Oh, there we go. 5,000 milliampere hours. I do hate thousands of milli. I might have mentioned it once or twice. 5 amp hours at 3.7 volts. Somebody do the maths. 5 times 4. That is no way. There's just no way that is 20 watt hours. No. That'll be 20,000 watt hours, will it? I lose track. Multiplying numbers when you're dividing by thousands on the units. Who knows? 5 amp hours times 4 volts. It is only 20 watt hours, isn't it? Yeah, thousands of milli, but yeah. 20 amp hours would be about a 1/12 of what the EcoFlow carries. It weighs nothing, and there's no way it's what it says it is. Okay, folks, what are we going to talk about tonight then? After I've stopped waffling about the weather and my power. The power banks I got onto, didn't I, because of preparing for bad weather. Not so much bad weather, just cloudy with no power coming in. And of course my power needs have gone up since I got the camping fridge freezer. Although in fairness, it probably uses about the same amount of power as the cooler that I had last year and the year before, whenever that was. Those things are just so inefficient. This with a proper compressor, getting the temperature right down and being a proper deep freeze if you want it to be, makes a big difference. The temperature of the beers, the temperature. Even now, I mean, it's how long ago did I turn it off? 4 o'clock. I've got this new thing now where to be able to keep it running an extra hour, rather than just taking the solar panel and the EcoFlow to the other side of the field, where the EcoFlow can get topped up, but I'm not using it because I haven't got a cable that comes that far. I will take the EcoFlow outside with the fridge freezer still plugged in. So fridge freezer inside, cable going out as far as it'll go, EcoFlow in the field, and then the solar panel out as far as it will go. And I can basically do that until, at the minute, until about 4:30. The sun becomes useless about 5, even at the other side of the field. I did do that today. I did move in the end I moved the EcoFlow and the solar panel to the other side of the field, just to top us back up from 93% up to 100 at the end. And it's currently on 86. I had to charge the tablet once and the phone I think 1.5 times, and they're both plugged in now, and the lamp. Oh, fun and games with batteries. My AA batteries. The ones from here. And the other ones that were missing. And I found 2 more. So I got 3 in here. I got 3 that were on standby and that went missing, and I found 2 of them. One is still missing here in the bedroom. And then I realised I stumbled across my old clock with the thermometer built in, if you ever saw those videos. When the tent used to hit 50 degrees, and I had a digital clock that was also a thermometer. I'd left 2 of the batteries in that, and I stumbled across those in my spice bag. Don't ask. Don't ask. I found my old Kindle book reader, which is still displaying the message that the battery went bad after the floods. The device is working as far as I can tell, if only the battery wasn't balked. So if I could go somewhere, or if I could get hold of the right kind of battery for that generation of Kindle, you know, the e-ink book reader, not a tablet. I could resurrect that. Maybe I can buy the battery and just watch a video on how to replace it. I haven't got spudgers, and I haven't got much in the way of delicate little screwdrivers. Not sure, it depends what's needed. Might be a simple job just to replace the battery once you can spudger your way into the plastic shield. We shall have to see, folks. I'm trying live chat and all chat now. The conversation's dried up. Me and Farmer. Farmer says pound, smash, poke, prod, press, push, punch, slap, chop, bump, tap, flick, kick, click, lick, rub the like button, and consider subscribing. Why not? It's free. Some people still don't know how to use YouTube. They think that subscribing means it's going to be a cost, and I guess Twitch hasn't helped, because you can favorite a channel, but then you have the subscribe link, which is a paid, like a paid membership of that channel, which they call subscribe, just to muddy the water. What's your favorite whiskey? Asked Sammy. Zammy. Don't really have one. I'm a bit like Clive, Big Clive. If you do the bigclive.com thing. Supermarket own. I've never been a big spender on posh alcohol. I'm not like Ralphie Clive's brother, who is a wine connoisseur and reviewer and a wine expert. That's not me. Wine, whiskey, whatever. No, I whatever. I did have. I mean, a single malt's always better than a blended, always. But it's not something I got. That tends to be those tend to be presents from somebody. I don't buy single malts myself, so it's just whatever. It's whatever's. Mercadona do one here. It's called Queen's something or other, and it's. Let's think. A standard bottle €6, a litre bottle €10. Can't argue with that. I'm actually going shopping probably tomorrow. A little bit concerned. I tried to pay for something online today, and the payment didn't go through. Tried 3 times. Paid for something yet. This is the worry. I paid for something yesterday. I did a Temu, however you want to pronounce that. I did a silly Temu shop. We'll discuss later, because I fucked up on a couple of things by not reading straight. Yeah, we'll look at that. It's not that I didn't. Well, one of them is that I didn't read straight. One of the mistakes was that I was examining each item like individually in the shopping basket. So over the months, I'll look at stuff and oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll consider that. And I use the shopping cart as like a memory, as a wish list. And then when you come back in months later and there's all these things there, and some of them are unavailable, so those get moved away. But I saw this thing that I wanted, and it was only like €1. Yeah, you know, fuck it, yeah. And then I'm looking, and I'm thinking about something else. And then I think, oh yeah, that's a category of something I want, and I add it. It's the same as the one like 4 items earlier. So I got 2 separate orders of the same type of thing. That was one fuck up. And the other was, I figured I could use some new AA batteries, new rechargeable USB-C, where the USB cable plugs directly into the battery. I like them. They've stood the test of time, and I figured I could do with more. I've got a second string of fairy lights, a bit more of a night light, a bit more brightness. Let's get the party started in here, guys, with the disco lights. They don't flash, they are just on. I figured I could do with another set of batteries for the other lights, and they take AA. And it's only today, the day after I've got the order confirmation, that I see that I've ordered AAA. I got the smaller batteries rather than the bigger ones. So yeah, what was I saying? Before I went into the specifics, I said we were going to talk about that later, and then I went into it. But not credit card, but yeah, my payment card. So I placed the order yesterday, and today I go to try and renew my phone. About a week early. This is one possible reason. Maybe I'm too early. Lebara, my phone provider, maintain like an account that you can pay money into, and they'll hold on to. And then when they want payment, they don't come to you. They go to the account that you've maintained, and so you're supposed to top it up in advance. 3 times today I tried to make a payment. And I wondered, it's a prepayment card, so I send money to Karen, she puts it on the card, and I can tip it up and do the internet. And Lebara have got all the card details stored, except for is it called the CCV? Or CVV? The 3-digit kind of security code that's on the back of the card. So I enter that, as I normally would. Error. Okay. No description beyond error. No emails. No, not just error. Wait 5 minutes. Try it again. Error. Oh, let's leave it half an hour. And I double checked. I'm remembering this 3-digit code anyway. But I happen to have the card in my back pocket at the time. So got that out. And no, I'm entering the right 3-digit code. And no. Oh, I enter the 3-digit code on their website, then PayPal pops up, and I have to confirm, and they do it now with this, I can't remember what it's called, but basically I just have to log in on my phone, use the 4-digit PIN number to open the PayPal app, and it should go through, and it came back as error. Thought maybe I'd run out of credit on the prepaid card. But no, that turns out not to be the case. So I'm not sure what the score is. Now the card is in English, it's with the post office in England, the post office bank. Is it too many transactions in Spain when it's meant to be an English card? Is it a temporary glitch on the Lebara website? Don't know. I guess what I was starting to say, because we were talking about alcohol, I'm going shopping tomorrow, I think tomorrow, maybe the day after. I've now run out of all my Christmas veg I've just finished. That was the leeks, celery, carrots. My potatoes, I do actually have a little supply. My main bag of potatoes, my 5 kilogram bag, is now all gone. I do have a little half bag of something that have been dropped off for me by people. But I need to go do some, basically I need to go do some shopping. I need some potatoes, carrots, onions, leeks, celery, maybe some broccoli, carrots. Did I mention carrots? I'm not sure I mentioned carrots already. I need a refresh. I haven't been shopping in the supermarket since was it the day before Christmas Eve? I think it was actually the morning of Christmas Eve. So that must be 3 weeks ago now. That's not done bad, has it? But if you remember, I had that aniseed flavoured liqueur. The reason I was talking about this was when I was asked about the whiskey, and I said about a normal bottle was €6, normal bottle of spirits, €6, and a litre bottle was 10. Well, this stuff, this aniseed liqueur thing, no, it wasn't a liqueur, this aniseed spirit, it was the full, like 35 or 40% by volume. That was a litre bottle for something like €7 or €7.50. And if you remember, if you were here at the time, oh, it was bloody gorgeous. It almost made up for the fact that I was looking for Baileys and couldn't find any Baileys. I have not had any Baileys this Christmas, folks. I am mad pissed off about not having any Baileys all Christmas. And I think, I don't remember the timing, I think the aniseed spirit, the aniseed drink was finished before Christmas. I think that was from the week before, from the first shop. Don't worry, I did okay. I had alcohol over Christmas. So cheers to everybody for that. I don't do bad for a tramp in a field. Why is that just flash up? Let me just check my battery, folks. That's on 100. Okay, that's good. But where are we here? That's going to go off before it shows me. Come on. That's a blank screen. Oh, you've not done that again. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay. Is that? No. There we go. That's on 88% and charging. That's okay. So my tablet froze again, didn't it, in the Friday stream? Kernel panic. When I managed to force a reboot, the last thing it did before rebooting, the screen came back on, and there's a little bit of text at the bottom. I only got the merest glimpse. It was a flash and gone. But yeah, at the bottom of the screen, it was a kernel panic. Now Samsung apparently haven't updated. So there's two parts to when they do an update with their One UI. And so there's One UI itself, and then there's a separate security update. And they're currently a month and a half or 2 months behind. I find that suspicious, that Samsung are behind with part of their updates, and I'm getting kernel panics. Now sometimes that can be a hardware issue, so that's something to be wary of. I have had a few warnings about trying to charge it while it was too cold. It flashes up saying charging doesn't stop, it says charging is restricted due to being too cold, which is better than the phone. When the phone's very cold, it complains about moisture being detected in the, well, it doesn't say where, but in the charging socket or the charging cable. And it's dry as a bone, but if it's 3 or 4 degrees, not negative, but 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, it bitches about moisture, which is a false positive. It's not even that the cable's got condensation on the end or that the port has. I'll blow on them, I'll heat them. If I put the phone in my pocket for 5 minutes, and stand there and hold the end of the cable so to get my body heat on the metal connector, it all goes away. So I guess that's just maybe it's a false positive, maybe it's just the wrong error message. Who knows? Okay. Farmer likes his Glenfiddich. Zami says, good answer. My grandfather used to say there's no such thing as a bad whiskey. Some are better than others. Yeah, it was an eye-opener for me this particular Christmas. Must be about 12 years ago now. It was the 1 or 2 Christmases before I came out to Spain. And 2 different people got me a bottle of whiskey. One got Bell's, which was blended, and I don't even remember what the other was, but that was a single malt. And I had some of the bells, just 2 or 3 shots, and then I thought, well, I'll try the other. I wasn't going to drink all of one and then the other. I was so I opened the single malt. Oh, it was really good, and after a week or two, when I'd finished that bottle and I went back, then it was so good I didn't switch between. I think I tried, but the contrast turned me off the bells entirely. I think I had to wait after I'd finished the single malt, I had to wait a few weeks, maybe a month, before I could drink not so much stomach it, but the taste. It was so much worse. That sounds too strong. That's a fair statement. To readjust from the good stuff back to the basic, it was such a stark contrast. Yeah, it was really different. Hello, Scotty. Is that your first post? It is. You wouldn't even use bells for a hot toddy. Yeah, like I said, I'm a cheap supermarket kind of guy. When I go back to Britain, it's going to be a real shock, isn't it? I get a bottle of Scotch, brandy, name another one, vodka. The standard bottle is your 750ml bottle. I can get the supermarkets. It's not really their own brand, but whatever their cheapest offering is, a 750ml bottle for €6, and a litre bottle for 10. Somebody tell me what a supermarket's cheapest. What's Tesco or Asda's cheapest brandy? 750ml or litre. Tell me the price and tell me which you're quoting. I'm imagining you're going to be looking at the best part of 20 quid for the cheapest for a 750. For a standard bottle. I'm guessing. I've got no clue, but I'm just guessing that it's going to be a shock to me, isn't it? I'm going to have to, when I do get back to Britain, I'm going to have to swear off the ale for the first couple of years while I save up. Fuck. I think we had a similar discussion maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about how much a can of beer would be in the off license. 15 at Tesco for a standard bottle. Yeah, that's so twice. If that's the standard bottle, that's twice the price of over here. Well, 2.5, 6 versus 15, and that's pounds. Whereas I'm talking euros. That's another. Where are we? 1.25. What's the exchange rate? 1.2, 1.25, probably. So yeah, your 15 is really. Oh. Yeah, it's 10%. Yeah, it's more. It's more. We can't just compare the numbers. I can't compare the €6 here and the 15 there. It's more. It's like nearly €20 versus 6. That's crazy. I've only been gone. I've only been gone 10 years. Only 10 years. Okay, folks, where were we? We were talking about whiskey. I think I answered. I don't have a favourite. I like a single malt. I generally can't afford one, and so that's something for. Don't get me wrong. When I was in the UK, I was okay. I was doing okay. I did well. I had a business. I could afford them, but my priorities. I wouldn't spend that kind of money. I got my brother. Me and my wife, we bought my brother a single malt one Christmas. I've told this story before. We went to Tesco in Carnforth. just outside Lancaster, and we did a big. It was a Christmas shop, and we got him his. The bottle was kind of triangular. I don't know if that helps anybody narrow down what the brand is. I don't remember, but it was a single malt, kind of triangular, but in a cardboard. Imagine a cylinder, but a rounded triangle. Is that even? Anyway, we got all the shopping out of the basket into the car. We drove home in the dark. This was like a late night shop, a day or two before Christmas. We got back to our house and unpacked all the shopping, and oh great, we're done. Where did you put the whiskey? I haven't. No. Did you not? No. Well, I didn't. Did you take it out of the shopping trolley? No, did you? No. Back. Supermarket was closed. And we're there, trying to find which of the shopping trolley bays we'd dropped the trolley off at, and there it was in the bottom of the fucking shopping trolley. I think we paid about 25 then. Like I said, single malt, stupid price, even 10, 12 years ago, whenever it was. So you do it for a present for someone else, but I don't spend that kind of money on myself. Never did. Zami, best bottle is Isle of Jura. Fantastic drop. Scotty sticking with Glenfiddich. We had Glenfiddich, that was Farmar before. That's two of you agreeing on Glenfiddich. Okay, Zami asks, who is your favourite actor? Favourite actor? Do I have a favourite actor? Bogart would be like the obvious answer, wouldn't it? Did he act? Bogart played Bogart in everything he was in. That's a little bit like Clint Eastwood, isn't it? Clint Eastwood plays Clint Eastwood. John Wayne played John Wayne in everything he was in. Is that acting? I think really, for someone to be a good actor, you have to be halfway through the film and forget that it's them. Now I find this Brad Pitt and the other one. Who's the other one that's not Brad Pitt? I can't remember his name. The one that was in the court case with her that shat in the bed. That's... I find those... They're obviously good actors. I've never learnt their face until, well, recently. I can spot Brad Pitt nowadays. Johnny Depp. So for 30 odd years, I don't know who they are. I don't recognise them. I never, their face never, I can't even remember their fucking names half the time. So they can be in a film and I don't know it's them, and therefore I'm not pulled out of the film. I can just watch it. Now, does that make them good actors, or is that just me being really bad at faces? I'm not sure. Good actors. I mean, Denzel. Edward Woodward. I mean, I had this discussion online a few weeks ago. We were somewhere online. I was in the comments under a video, and someone was saying about Denzel and The Equalizer. I said, yeah, he's a fantastic actor. I've lost the name of the other, but he's a fantastic actor, but he's no Edward Woodward, is he? And the other guy had never heard of Edward Woodward. He didn't even know that the Equalizer films weren't original. He didn't know that they were an update or a retelling of the 80s TV. He'd never heard of the 80s TV series. How can you discuss these things with these youngsters who've got no fucking idea? Now, was Edward Woodward a better actor than Denzel? In some ways, I think so. If you watch the first Wicker Man, if you watch the TV series Callan, which was basically the Equalizer. So the Equalizer was Robert McCall after he quit being in the spy agency. They never really named the agency, but you assume CIA, except he's clearly British, which is a contrast. Callan is a TV series from the 60s, where he's in the spy agency, and he's very much this. He's pretty much the same character. He's torn by the circumstances and what they have to do. In the Equalizer, he's torn by what he's done in the past, haunted by memories, haunted by some of the people, and bumping into some of the past people. But it's all on the side. I do think Edward Woodward was a fantastic actor. Denzel's great. I think Edward Woodward edges it as a better actor. It's difficult to forget that you're watching Denzel when you're watching Denzel. Except in, was it Sent Elsewhere? The medical drama that he was in when he was very young? I think it was Sent Elsewhere. Which had a couple of the guys out of Babylon 5 in it. Anyway, I'm scrolling. Have you seen Casablanca? How could you not? Casablanca is one of those films that somewhere over the Christmas period, when it's late at night, when you kind of forget it's Christmas and you just settle into black and white movies, Casablanca is one of those ones. Along with Key Largo and some of the other ones that I don't remember the name of. What's it? The three guys escape prison. And they're running through kind of swamplands and stuff. And one of them is the guy who played Poirot, Peter Ustinov. Was it Peter Lorre as well? I'm not sure. Who was the third? It might have been Peter Lorre, or it might have been that other guy that looks like Bogart. It was in a film called They Drive By Night. Was it They Drive By Night, or was it Hell Drivers? Anyway, yeah, no, love Bogart films. Particularly anything with Bogart and Bacall, Lauren Bacall. I even do old time radio. I've got I never remember the name of the radio series, but it's Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall as a detective pair of kind of. She's called Sailor. I think that's all he ever calls her. I don't think he ever gives her the real name. I love it. I love anything with Humphrey Bogart. I love all of those old noir detective things. Robert Mitchum. Jimmy Cagney. See, it takes me about 10 seconds to pull the names out of nowhere. Anything, Jimmy Cagney. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Callan, all episodes available here online. YouTube, or do I have to go somewhere else? Because I can always high seas, you know. Wow, my heart is. I don't think I should say that in public, but you know. Tramp in a field, you're not going to get much out of me if you sue me, are you? And jail time's hardly a big threat. I'm living in a fucking field in a tent, and you want to put 4 concrete walls around. Well, yeah, there'll be 4 concrete walls in total. My room will have 3 walls and some bars. But you're going to feed me 3 times a day. Thanks. I'll take, you know, it wouldn't be that bad a thing, would it? So yeah, the alternative to finding me is to lock me up, and it doesn't hold much in the way of fear for me. If anything, the guy I've told this before, haven't I, about the guy who did a couple of years in jail over here. He came out fluent in Spanish. See, that's the ultimate immersion. Others aren't gonna. When you're out here in the touristy areas, all the Spanish want to practice their English. All the waiters and waitresses and everyone that you might meet, shop staff, as soon as they can tell you're English, they practice their English. Even if you talk to them in Spanish, they'll override you and overrule you and come back with English. I would imagine prison wouldn't be like that. So then, not only have you got immersion, but you've got actual, absolute fucking necessity of having to learn the language. You know. Now I'm nearly 60, so it might be too late to even if I learnt it, what am I going to do with it? Where's the usefulness in it? Don't know, folks. I don't know. What about you guys? Who are your I think it was Zami that asked the question, favourite actor. Who are yours? I mean, I like all of the greats. Peter O'Toole, Audie Murphy, the most dangerous actor ever. That man's got over 100 kills under his belt. For real, legit, actual fucking kills. Did he get the Medal of Honor as well? I think he got the Medal of Honor. Took over a machine gun outpost and used it all night to just mow down the enemy. For a day or a day and a half. Over 100 confirmed kills. Fuck. Lee Marvin was another hard man. A lot of those actors that you see in the war films were actually there. And yeah. Who's the other one that looks like Lee Marvin but isn't? There's a good description. Who was in Cat Ballou? Was that Lee Marvin or was that the other one that I'm thinking of? And who was in Paint Your Wagon with Clint Eastwood? Clint Eastwood. He did like to sing, didn't he? Oh, does. I got to find out now, folks. I've now confused myself because there's an actor looks like Lee Marvin but isn't Lee Marvin, and who was in Like Flynn? That might have been Lee Marvin. Let's see whether AI is up to the job. Actor looks like Lee Marvin. Don't just show me pictures of Lee Marvin. That's not what I'm after. Where's the AI? Actors often compared to Lee Marvin. James Coburn, that is indeed the one. No, Lee Van Cleef doesn't. Lee Van Cleef is very distinctive with those cheekbones. Benedict Cumberbatch, I guess, has got cheekbones as well. James Coburn. Who's in Paint Your Wagon? Here we go, there's another entry. James Coburn, frequently confused with Lee Marvin. Okay, well, it seems to be quite a common thing that Lee Van Cleef was confused with him because of the facial structure. Okay, there you go. Now I need to know who was in which films. I need to know who was in Like Flynn and who was in Paint Your Wagon. Because now I don't know. Oh, bear with me, folks. I know this is probably not the best. Lee Marvin was Paint Your Wagon, says Scotty. What does that say? Okay, it says it really badly. Oh, no titles, just the images. Hold on. So I'm on Lee Marvin. He was in so much. All the Dirty Dozen type stuff. Liberty, the man who shot Liberty Valance. Who shot Liberty Valance? He was the bravest of them all. Gene Pitney, maybe? The man who shot Liberty Valance. He shot Liberty Valance. It was John Wayne that actually shot him, wasn't it? But it looked like it was Jimmy Stewart. Everyone heard two shots ring out. You think it's 1 and 1 when you listen to the song, but it's not. Bloody hell, there's too many to look through. I can't find the biggies. Back then, they did work for their money, didn't they? Bloody hell. The wild one. Bad Day at Black Rock. Kane Mutiny. Cat Ballou. Okay, Cat Ballou was Lee Marvin. Paint Your Wagon, yeah, Lee Marvin. Who was in Like Flynn then? Was that him or was that the other one? And who now I can't even remember the name of again because I don't see. James Coburn must have been in Like Flint. Sorry, folks. I'm just curious. Once I've got a question that I don't know the answer to, I have to fucking find out how many do I have to fucking scroll through to see it? I'll probably look past it and not see it. Scrolling. Jesus, that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That can't be right. Hudson Hawk. Really? I don't remember that. Scrolling. James Coburn was in the Muppet movie. It's amazing the shit you don't remember. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. I'm probably losing the audience here, folks, aren't I, while I'm scrolling just a fistful of dynamite. In Like Flint, there you go, you see, James Coburn, as opposed to Lee Marvin. I just can't tell them apart. Well, when I see them, I probably can, but my memory doesn't distinguish between them. I might have mentioned once or twice, I'm really bad with faces. I have to meet you at least 3 times before I get the face and the name together. I don't know if Anthony's still here. The second time Anthony came to the field, I wasn't sure who he was. Oh, let me reach for my other coffee. I've got a really bad back after stooping for 3 hours, like chopping the veg and doing everything on that lower table, and then bending over because the cook stove's on the floor. That's right, I was going to talk about Temu, wasn't I? We will. But suffice to say, my gas burner, I didn't know this until Joby said something a few days ago. It's not just a camping stove burner, it's specifically for paella dishes, which is why it's so big. For the paella pans. Cool Hand Luke, yeah. A lot of good films. A lot of those war films, those... Oh, let me... Sorry, folks. Oh, I can't reach. Fuck. Ouch. Ouch. My back. Oh, lower right-hand side. The part that's been aching for ages because of walking the doggy. Oh, I've got the lid on wrong. Oh, the sippy cup was at 9 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. It's too hot. Okay. Note to self, when you're drinking from your insulated thermal cup thing, just an hour and a half after you've made it, be careful. I'm gonna have to chase it down with a cold beer just to make sure I don't have any permanent damage to the esophagus. There lies throat cancer, folks. If you drink, I think I mentioned one of my neighbours used to drink his, back in the UK, in Lancaster. One of my neighbours used to drink his coffee. Everyone was amazed. He could basically pour it out of the kettle into his cup and then start drinking it. Coffee or tea, I think it was tea. And everyone said, oh, does that not burn? Does that not, oh, you're not hurting yourself? Yeah, massive esophageal cancer later. And his doctors suggest, I mean, you can never be sure of these things, can you? You can get, it's like you can get lung cancer without ever being a smoker. You can get esophageal cancer without ever drinking your drinks or your food too hot. Not that you drink your food. How do I miss these things when they're hovering right there in front of me? And why am I still getting them in here? Gonna have a bit of a clear out tomorrow. A bit of a clear out and a reorganise. I'm getting sick of losing stuff. And not just losing stuff. If you lose it on the floor and it's electronic, and then your carpet ends up wringing wet for 2 weeks, your electronics can go bad. Like my, like the power bank I was discussing earlier. I'm not even sure where I've put it now. After finding it after 2 weeks, I don't even know where it is. I've got 3 broken power banks in here now. I'm not sure. One of them went through the initial floods with me when I first moved into this field. And I think it's probably a reaction to that. It's probably, it carried on working after that, but at reduced capacity. I imagine it's corrosion on contact and maybe blown capacitor or something. I'd have to take it apart, and I don't have the spudger. I wouldn't know what I was looking at once I'm inside. Spot corrosion, obviously, but maybe you can swap out an 18650, one of the cells, maybe, if it's not a blown fuse, capacitor, resistor, whatever. I don't have a multimeter. I don't have a soldering iron. If it's anything other than just swap out a cell, I won't. And if the cell's welded, if it's spot welded in, then I'm bollocksed anyway, aren't I? Have you ever watched anybody try to spot weld a cell? I watched Linus Tech Tips try and do it. Linus Sebastian, whatever he's called, once. And I think for every one that he got spot welded properly, he ruined 3. Doesn't look like an easy task, so it's not something I'm going to be trying. Okay, folks, let me just scroll back a bit. Okay, I've missed a few there. Okay, I was... Lee Majors. Lee Majors looked kind of like Elvis to me, apart from not having black hair. There was something about the eyes and the face was very Elvis-y. Still with us, is he, Mr. Majors? Steve Austin, Colonel Steve Austin, not Stone Cold. Colonel Steve Austin. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can build the world's first bionic man. Faster, stronger. Something else. Fitter? Something like that. She's breaking up. She's breaking up. I can't hold her. A man barely alive. And the voice at the beginning. Hold on. Let me get this right. No, I'm wrong. The voice at the beginning of the voiceover at the beginning of $6 Million Man was, I think it was the producer or director. And I don't think he intended it to be the final. I think he was doing it as a test run, and they kept it. The voice at the beginning of The Incredible Hulk was the Lurch out of the Addams Family, because he was going to be the Incredible Hulk. But when they started production, nobody liked the overall appearance. He was tall and spindly. He wasn't the Hulk. They wanted broader. They wanted like Lou Ferrigno kind of build. It's just intriguing that I almost got mixed up about the two different voiceovers there, though. But yeah, where am I? That was because Lee Majors. Lee Marvin was in Paint Your Wagon. I was born under a wandering star. I always sing it kind of flat. I can never get that. But that gravelly voice. It's a fun film to watch, Paint Your Wagon. I've mentioned before that I like my the Christmas romantic films. I do like the odd musical. I'm a little bit gay that way. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, anybody? Love it. Absolutely fucking love it. It's the gayest thing ever. Even though it's blokes getting off with women, they did have to kind of kidnap them a bit. You couldn't make that film nowadays, I don't think. You would be cancelled. They kidnap them, don't they? And then the pass gets filled in with snow and the roads are all blocked, and so they have to spend the whole winter together. And then they do start falling for each other. Fortunately. But the ethics of snatching women, taking them back to your log cabin and keeping them prisoner all winter. You could not make that nowadays. It'd be fun to see someone try. Could you do a modern update without everybody being trans or gay? Race swap away. I've got no problem with race swapping. Unless the brothers are all different races. That would be a bit awkward. But the brides could be, couldn't they? That wouldn't be a problem. But how do you get around the... I guess they would have to be stranded there some other way. They're on a coach coming through town and the coach breaks down or can't make it through the pass, through the snow, and so have to stop. The brothers would have to be running a hotel or something, or a hotel or a motel. Don't think you could kidnap them. I don't think you'd get away with that part of the story. Don't know. Let me. Heartbreak Ridge movie, Clint Eastwood. Have I seen that one? There's a couple of him as like the drill sergeant training people. Which one's the one where the guy in charge of the division or the platoon or whatever is just an office boy? And Clint Eastwood's forever turning his nose up at him and putting him down. The one where they have to guess what colour t-shirt to wear that morning. Is that Heartbreak Ridge or is that a different one? I think he's done a couple of those kind of drill sergeant kind of things. Steve McQueen in Great Escape and Cool Hand Luke, great actor. He was. Unfortunately, he felt Hollywood didn't value him as much as Paul Newman, wasn't it? That he was comparing himself against. Was it a shotgun in the end? I think it was a shotgun. Yeah, that's tragic. If you're stuck trying to compare yourself and trying to compete, you should be competing against yourself, not competing against the other guy. That can lead to madness. And yeah, both great actors. They are both great actors. Lou Ferrigno, yeah. Heartbreak Ridge, that is the one where they have to spy on him to pick the right t-shirts and turn up in the morning. Okay, so I have seen it. I have seen it. See, I can watch a film and really enjoy it. I don't necessarily remember the names of films. I'm the same even with TV series that I really like. So I love Star Trek. But if I talk to other people about it and they'll say, oh, in and they'll name the fucking episode. Who the fuck is memorizing episode names? I can't remember whether something was in season 1 or season 2 or series 1 or series 2, as we would say in the UK. I don't remember which series it was in, or which season, if you must. Remembering the names of specific episodes, that's a little bit too anal retentive. That's a little bit too much for me. I'm not. I might remember the name of 1 or 2 really standout ones. Even then, I'll probably butcher the name. So, Star Trek Next Generation, the first episode. I think it was a double episode, or I don't know if it was feature length or if it was 2 episodes. But the BBC broadcast them both at the same time when it was introduced in the UK. Incident at Farpoint. It's definitely Farpoint. The Incident or whatever the rest of the name, I could get totally wrong. But it's rare that I remember episode names. Oh, I forgot to fucking turn that off, didn't I? Let's have a look. Scrolling. Where's the Do Not Disturb? I have to scroll some more. There it is. Now I have to scroll and get away from all that without misclicking. What's happening here? 21 people dead. 2 trains in Spain. That's not good. Oh, and then we've got everybody falling out over okay. And I've had someone comment on one of my videos saying, my God, you're still there. I am indeed. Very much a holding pattern, folks. Very much a holding pattern. Survival is the name of the game. If I'm alive in a month, then I'm winning. I don't see a path back yet. I don't see a way forward. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Where are we, folks? We were talking films. Lou Ferrigno. We're in danger of jumping off on the TV nostalgia. I shall divert us, folks. I mentioned almost an hour and a half ago, that I'd been browsing Temu or Temu, and I'd put a €50 order together, and it's It's multiple bits and pieces. It's about, oh, I thought it was about 15 items, but it's fewer. Where are we on this one? Okay, in here. I've actually got the Temu app rather than just the website. And I was looking at my, no, that's a shopping cart that I've rebuilt. So I was browsing yesterday. I was deleting old things that are no longer available from my from what was the shopping cart, and I accidentally left one or two in. How do I get to the shit that I've just ordered yesterday? If I go down to you and into orders, your orders, there's the order. Oh, I can pay extra to speed up the shipment. I bet I can. Yeah, that's something they didn't tell me. Every item I ordered, usually with you within 5 days. Usually with everything, I made sure everything was within 5 days. I complete the order, and then they say, it'll be with you by February the 12th. The fuck? 5 days, 5 days, 5 days. Oh, no, a month. Give us a month. Oh, I'm not down in the dumps. I'm positive, mate. Don't worry. Get that mint hot chocolate mix. It's a little pick me up on a dreary day. I have picked me up. I mean, I do have dreary days. I do have the odd down, but yeah, I'll add to farmer. I'm sure that nobody involved and none of their families are ever going to hear me say it, but obviously, I think we'd all extend our thoughts and prayers. I'm not religious, but thoughts and well wishes. That doesn't sound right, does it? But yeah, no, it's a terrible tragedy when people, well, when anybody dies. I mean, we all do in the end, but when you get a mass casualty incident like a train crash, um, that's so yeah. Thoughts with everybody concerned, but as I said, it's highly unlikely that anybody who is concerned would be hearing me twaddle on about it. Oh, I did actually. Rather than scrolling through it on Temu, I did prepare. I did. Okay, so my order on Temu last night broke down basically into three broad categories. One of which is clothing and random. But we'll start with that because some of it was clothing and things you wear and things related to things you wear. So I bought, see, my socks, my thicker, longer. I mean, I live in Spain, yeah. You don't have many thicker, longer. I came here with two pairs of long, thick, kind of woolly socks as a comfort thing, knowing that it would only ever be what December and January and February maybe that they would be worn. But those I mean that's 10 years ago. Those have got holes in. I've still got them, but they've got holes in the heel and what have you. So those are less than ideal. So I bought 5 thick pairs of warm socks because it's been down to 3 degrees here some nights. If you can't get your feet warm, you will not be warm all night. What I call the foot pocket is mankind's greatest invention. If you've got blankets and stuff just laying flat on a mattress or hanging over the edge, every time you move, if you turn over and you raise, it's like a bellows. You're sucking air in at the side. And every movement from either me or Tina is cold air inrushing. That's no good. Don't do that. Don't just have your blankets and stuff just either just lying flat on the bed or lying over the edge of the bed. You have to turn them under. And if you can tuck them under yourself as well, and kind of that's a bonus. But even if you can't, you got to tuck them under and then lie there. So you've got a double thickness at the other end. And if you turn the bottom under, and you can get your feet in that pocket that you've created, then you'll get your feet warm. The foot pocket. It's mankind's greatest invention. I promise you. But warm socks are obviously going to be a help. I also bought, and this will surprise Josie if she ever sees this, I bought 3 pairs of reading glasses. Because I'm going through them at a fair old pace. If I walk into the fabric at they crack and they creak. I've broken multiple pairs. I broke one pair just sitting on the edge of the bed and turning into the fabric into the wall. It snapped and broke to shit. There was the one where I fell over and landed face first on my glasses. That could have hurt me badly, but fortunately they just broke. Fortunately, just broke. But Josie brought me about 5 pairs in a plastic envelope. One of them somehow got broke on the journey here. It didn't even make it here. One of them, I think Tina stood on, when the packet was new, I think Tina stood on it and broke one. And I broke one since when I turned my head and Tina did something and I turned and I crunched into the wall. And it's a fabric wall, but it's still... So I'm kind of running out of glasses already. Whoops. Now, hopefully, all 5 pair were of the 1, 2 or 3 euros variety that you can get nowadays. But I've got 3 pairs coming, and they were like, it's like €2.50 for the 3-pack. I mean, what, you can't not, can you? They're giving them away. Here's one of the things that I fucked up on. The glasses repair screwdriver. I've had a number of instances where the screw just works its way out, and it's such a small. Who has a screwdriver that tiny? And the other thing is, you have to take them off to do it. Do you see the difficulty? You can't see shit without your glasses, but you got to take your glasses off to repair it. I do have. But by having extra pairs of glasses, or in some instances just having the lenses out the other glasses, I could see what I'm doing. And if I had a screwdriver small enough, this was where I'd added one of these things to the cart that day, namely yesterday, but I'd already got one in the cart and didn't realise. And the two were so far apart in the listing that when I reviewed, yeah, something for the glasses. Oh, yeah, something for the glasses. But I'd seen other things. I'd been distracted in the meantime. So glasses repair screwdriver, and then a multifunction glasses repair kit. These were the 2 things way apart. And then, folks, do you remember way back, I had a go at fishing, me and Joby. A lad called Andy gave us 2 fishing rods. And it didn't work out. The terrain here where I'm kind of stuck is not really conducive. He'd done fishing in a river before, but not on a shoreline. We kept getting tangled up in seaweed and in rocks, and it just... But how about a crab stroke lobster pot for €3? Stick a brick in it. Put it in the bottom in the bottom of the sea. A little bit of bait. I figure some kind of mesh with a bit of dog food. The dry dog food will dissolve in the sea and will percolate and permeate on anything that comes in, and go back an hour later, pick it up, and what you get, you get. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm not exactly sure of the legality. Possessing the kit can't be a crime, though, can it? So I might get it and never use it, eh? Okay, folks. So that was one category. That was mainly clothing and glasses and glasses repair kits, I guess. The next section is cooking. The next category, I guess. And this is unofficial, but I broadly... all of these things are like 1, 2 or 3 euros. Stainless steel rolling pin. I used to have 2 rolling pins. They were both wooden. One was wider than the other. One was just kind of flat, cylindrical, but without it wasn't shaped. It hadn't been turned on the lathe and shaped. And one had a fancy handle. But the police stole those, so now I'm rolling pinless, and I want to make maybe a bit of pastry, maybe like a pizza dough, or I don't know, ideas, possibilities. Um, I am going to be making some things maybe this week. I'm going to start with like a liquid bread, a liquid dough, um, and put that into the frying pan, dry, no fat in the pan, and do some flatbreads. I might even have a go at a pizza in the frying pan, slightly thicker, a thicker bread or dough. I've got cheese. I've got tins of tomatoes. Oh shit! I got the remnants of the peppers from the other week that should have been used today. They should have gone on today's food. Those might need using real quick. Anyway, rolling pin. Now we get into a bit of a. Here's another bit of a fuck up. So I've already got a veg peeler. Standard, scrape your carrots, scrape your potatoes, whatever. There's another one, a 3-in-1 one that as well as doing, you turn the head, and as well as doing the normal peeling and slicing, it has notches it has teeth, and it will. So say you slice a carrot, you get the little juliennes, the little thin strips. So as well as peeling, it's cutting at the same time. And just something else, I can't remember what. So I intended to get that. What I didn't realise was I'd left another veg peeler in the, well, more than that. We'll get to it. So there's a veg peeler already in the shopping cart that I missed, I didn't remove. And then I've got this fuck off, excuse me. I got this big fuck off veg peeler. A big sturdy fuck off really wide one for shredding cabbage. I like raw cabbage on salads, and maybe into stir fry, thinly chopped or shredded. Basically, I've bought 3 veg peelers, but not just that. There was this green plastic 13-in-1 slicer, grater. What's the other thing called? Mandolin. Does all the things. I mean, I've got a box grater for the 2 different sizes. Well, just 3 or 4, but the main 2 things that you might want to do with a box grater, the normal cheese grater one, and it has a little thin, almost mandolin thing on the side for slicing potatoes or carrots or whatever. Basically, I've overdone it on the slicing, shredding gadgetry. I got too much, but we are where we are. Also, when you cook eggs and you put 2 or 3 in the frying pan and they all merge into one big. I don't like that. I wanted some rings, like cookie cutters, but some metal rings to put in the frying pan to restrict the egg, and also crumpets, or crumpets and English muffins are very different. Americans think they're the same, but they're not. But something like that. Anything you want to do that's little and round in a frying pan, and you want to do 3 or 4 at the same time. Yorkshire puddings might have been another example. Might have been. I got a separate pan for that now, though. For what it's worth. Anyway, I got 6 of these. They're listed as pancake molds or egg molds, that kind of thing. A cooking thermometer for €1.50. How can you not? And a manual whisk. This is one of those ones. So instead of just beating things yourself, you pump up and down on the handle, and it spins faster than you could possibly go. For batters and whisking eggs and all of those things. So that's my cooking section. And the final shit that I bought, oh yeah, I've ordered another one of these cigarette lighter adapters. This one kind of keeps plopping out. The one in the EcoFlow. I'm old-fashioned. I'm old. I call it the cigarette lighter. In the car, in fact, the EcoFlow came with a cigarette light. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. No, it didn't. I bought a cigarette lighter socket, not the adapter that goes in, but the female, and plugged it onto the two small solar panels, the two 10-watt solar panels that I have. When I bought that came with a cigarette lighter adapter. Push it in, it glows hot, pull it out like a cigarette or cigar. That was the original use for that outlet. Now we've got all these USB things. This one pops out a little bit more than I like, so I bought another one, and it's got 6 or 8 ports on it. I don't remember the specifics, but this one's got one USB-C and one USB-A outlet. The one I've got, it's got at least 4 of the different USB-As with the power delivery and the quick charge, or whatever those various different flavors are. And it's got 2 USB-Cs. And it's good to have a backup, folks. I've lost one of these in the tent already. I am that guy. I can lose this shit. So let me just, I haven't seen any messages in a while. Have I lost the audience? Have I bored you? It's possible. Yeah, Farmer, don't get down in the dumps. Not down in the dumps, Farmer, don't worry. I'll just finish this off. I'll finish the rest of this list off, and then I'll come back to you and see what you guys want to talk about. But I just got lost in the weeds yesterday, ploughing through Temu. Nothing I bought was more than maybe €3. Most would have been 1.5. I think the 5 pairs of socks was the most expensive item that I bought. 5 pairs of socks for €3. Anyway, cigarette lighter. Cigarette adapter. Car power outlet adapter for extra USB ports. Let's put it that way. I bought 2, count them, 2. I call them octopus cables because that's a name I saw for them way back. Single USB-A connector at one end, 4 USB-C outlets at the other. These batteries, these USB-C AA and AAA batteries that I use quite a bit. Individual cables. I've only got, if you ignore the cigarette lighter and the adapter, there's only 2 USB-A outlets on the EcoFlow. So if I could plug 2 cables in and be able to power 8 batteries, or 8 devices, charge 8 devices, it's got to be better than sitting there doing them 2 at a time. Or at the minute, if I plug the cigarette adapter in, 3 at a time. There's 1 extra USB-A here. So this set of lights takes 3 batteries. So that's the maximum I can do at the minute, 3 at a time. But while I do that, I can't power the freezer or fridge. And they take quite a while. They're very slow. They don't draw much power. So little, in fact, that if I plug 2 of them in, it doesn't even register on the EcoFlow. I have to plug 3 in, and it will say it's drawing 4 watts. So 2 octopus cables, 2 that have 4 USB-C connectors on. That'll be useful for me. As long as they don't fall apart. The last batch that I bought fell apart in no time. Individual cables are the bane of my life, folks. If any preppers out there, cables, you need far more cables than you think come the apocalypse. You won't be able to order any more on Amazon after the apocalypse. Get them ahead of time. Get 10 times more than you think you need. Where are we? So yeah, 4-way USB-A to C cables times 2. And here we go. This is where I made the fuck up and bought AAA batteries instead of AA. Most of the things here, my 2 strings of fairy lights, a couple of I think I've got 3 head torches. One, when you turn it on, it'll turn on, but the switch falls in. That takes the AAAs. Everything else takes AA's. Oh, except for the one that's I think it's micro USB. No, it might be USB-C. That just has an inbuilt rechargeable cell. But anyway, I accidentally bought AAA instead of AA. I'll find a use for them, obviously. And oh, yeah. My phone. I've had problems in the past where USB sockets break. My last phone would work perfectly if you could get some power into it. The only thing broken is the connector, the USB, the micro USB. The bit in the middle with the connections on snapped down, and if you can't get power in, you can't use it. Also, the power bank that is now totally fucked, that had the same thing. Micro USB port, crunch, doesn't work, but that had a solar panel built on. Sit it in the sun for 4 days and you could get some decent power into it, until it just got wet and now doesn't work. So, to avoid, or not avoid, but to allow for this potential, my phone has wireless charging, but I don't have any kind of wireless charging pad. Or I bought one of those. Again, I think €2.5, maybe €3. So electronics, clothing, and cooking related items, stuff to make my life easier and make me more likely to cook. There are some things I just couldn't do. Without a good whisk, I might have skipped the cooking thermometer. Did I? The meat probe type cooking thermometer. You got to be sure. Some things you cook. If you were wanting, for example, if I'd bought an actual turkey at Christmas, I haven't got an oven. I'll be doing it in a frying pan. Maybe I'll portion it out. Maybe I would have spatch cooked it and opened it out. But you got to be able to tell whether it's done or not. Poultry, you don't want to be messing. You got to get a proper probe and do that. I think I missed that out. But the various veg peelers, they'll be fun. The different ways of slicing and dicing and, julienning and all of that you can do with those. Maybe I bought too many of them. I don't know whether I realised I was buying too many, or whether I've accidentally left something in there, because I use the shopping cart as my wish list. Oh yeah. I add them, and then I'll revisit in 2 months and think again. And this is the first time, the last order I ever bought anything online and had it delivered here. I think I'm right in saying it was the batteries. I bought, I think I bought 8 of each, but I'm not sure. I don't know where all the AAAs are gone if that's the case. I've got 8 AA and 4 AAA, but I've got a feeling that there are more AAA and I just don't know where they are. I've got 4 out here. One of them's playing funny buggers. There's 2 in the head torch, in one of the head torches. I think 2, maybe 3. Maybe does it take 3? I don't even know. And there must be, so I must have 8 of each. 8 AA, 8 AAA. I broke one. I tried charging it because it's got a USB port. I tried charging it while it was in a device. That didn't go well. Don't do that. When you've got a device trying to take the power out, because it's kind of a pretend battery, isn't it? And then I plugged in the USB at the side, and there was no sparks or magic smoke. It just didn't work after that. So I won't do that again. But I've put together, I hope no one minds, I know you guys donate the money, but these little things, the little trinkets, everything is €1, €2, €3. Some more glasses, the socks, you know, some things that will make the rest of January and February. They're giving me this window. In the email, they said the expected date was like the 5th of February or something. Well, I don't remember. Now I look at the latest email, and it gives a window from 5 days time until 3 weeks time. We'll see. But I'm not blowing money on anything expensive. There's nothing extravagant. A couple of mistakes, a couple of things that are the wrong thing, a couple of things where I've got multiple of a similar kind of thing. But hopefully they'll add to the they'll make life easier. All the cookery things, the rolling pin, for example, the whisk. I thought about getting a manual, you know, with the 2 spinny. I thought about getting one of those, but I didn't. I backed off in the end. There's another thing. After I'd bought this, after I finalised this order, I carried on browsing Temu. I put another €150 worth into the shopping cart. There's no way that I'll ever do that. Some of the things that you can get now, guys, that charge from USB, there's like blenders and food processors that you charge from USB and then use. They're only small. I mean, I've thrown them in for consideration, but I think they're like €8 or €9 each. That's a little bit over the top for my budget. But there's a set, a woolly hat, a snood, like this one, you know, the ring scarf or neck gaiter, as I've heard them called. So it was a woolly hat, a snood, a set of gloves, and a set of socks. Now I've already bought socks, but they're a set. I thought about buying a couple of those, one for me, one maybe for Joby. Because, you know, some of these, it was last night, wasn't it? It wasn't as cold as some other nights, but I'd not eaten for a couple of days. I'd not had a proper full-on fill your belly meal. And I was cold, even though it was only it was 8, which shouldn't be a problem. 3 and 4, 3, 4, 5 degrees, I feel. My ears get literally cold, and I have to use the snood to cover the ears, or lay on them and pull the quilt right up and over. Yeah, they're getting cold now, actually. But so something, you know, woolly hat, scarf, gloves, socks. If you can buy a set like that for €3 or €4, maybe. Some of the other stuff more extravagant, the blender and the like I said, I use the shopping cart as a wish list, but I have managed to bang in. I guess, I don't know. Any questions? Any comments? Does anybody tell me I'm being a prat for spending money on things that I shouldn't be spending money on? I am just gonna switch to the Temu app and have a look at a quick rundown of some of the things in the current shopping cart. How do I get to it? There, that 44 items in the shopping cart. Your gifts are ready. You've got 6 items waiting to claim. I ignore all of their publicity. There's some silicon baking, I don't know what you want to call them. A 4-pack of headphones for $2.20. A 4-pack of in-ear headphones with microphone. 4-pack for $2.27. €2, folks. I thought about getting a folding solar panel set for Joby, but it looks like someone's given him a solar panel today. So that was €10. That I missed. I meant to click delete. There we go. What's this one? That's the food processor meat grinder vegetable chopper. €6.27. It's USB powered. And then straight under it there's a blender and ice crusher for €13. I probably won't get any of those. Another one of these these USB cigarette lighter things, €2. A dough mixer stroke scraper, a coffee filter, stainless steel, a set of stainless steel baking trays with lids so you can bake in them, and then when it cools down you can use them as Tupperware, put them in the fridge. Now that I've got a fridge freezer, folks, you know. I don't have any nail clippers for the doggy, so there's that. Kitchen scissors, kitchen shears. You get the idea. It's all something and nothing. Lots of pieces of like cheesecloth. I've got cream. You can trigger that milk to turn, the cream to turn. You can make butter or cheese. They're all €1, €2, €3. A couple of survival blankets in case something goes really wrong. Pack of 5 for €5. This is an interesting one. 6 silicone egg cookers. So when you make boiled eggs, you ever had the problems where you just can't get the fucking shell off? These things, they're like little egg-shaped silicone little buckets. Take the lid off, crack your egg, put it in, put the lid on, and put that, and we're live again. Take these little silicone egg, almost like an egg cup, but crack your egg, pour the egg contents into the little silicone mold, put the lid on, you put that in the hot water, and now when your boiled egg is done, there's no shell to remove. You just have to get it out of the silicone mold. Just pour it out. Thought that'd be a good idea. I thought about getting a little pan, a little chip pan. Not just a chip pan. What do they call it? I can't read all the writing. A tempura. It's a little frying pan. A deep frying pan. And some other stuff. Now, here's one. This is probably just fucking way out there. You know, I got a television in the tent. What about one of those little supposedly an indoor aerial TV antenna? But I'm not indoors. I'll get better reception than someone sat indoors. I'm in a field. And they've got them for variously €5 or €8 for a bigger and better one. So it's all stuff like that, folks. It's little shitty, just stuff that might be silicone spatulas and stuff. Tommy Tombstone, hello mate. Yeah, I have. I'm going to shut up now because I've lost the audience. I've been prattling on about my wish list or shopping list for too long. But there we go, folks. Little radio. I could do with a little radio. I've got one. It doesn't make the connections anymore. When you select AM and so off AM and FM, it takes 20 times for you to for it to make the proper connection, so that when you turn the tuning wheel, you've got a chance of picking up stations. Mainly it just misses, and you can't get the connector, the slider, into the right position. So I got 2 radios. One was one of those wind up. Well, it wasn't just wind up. It's got a solar panel. It's got a wind up. It's got an inbuilt. It can be charged from USB, and it has a cell inside, an 18650. That's the number. But that broke. That stopped working one day magically. 18 months ago. It was working perfectly. I loved it. I used it for about 3 months, and then it just next day it just didn't work one day. Wasn't dropped, wasn't hit, wasn't in water. Lovely sunny day. Left it out to charge. Maybe it didn't have overcharge protection. Maybe it just overcharged. I don't know. But I went to turn it on the next day. It just didn't work. So my survival radio that Damien, a bloke called Damien, bought me way back at the beginning of this channel. There's a thank you video to Damien where he bought me some of these things. And he brought me things in various different deliveries, but there's one delivery in particular, folks. You've got to see it. He brought me a pair of walking boots, which I've only just stopped using. That's right. The sole fell off a couple of weeks ago. I used those for 3 years nearly. Almost 3 years. Walking boots, the camping gas stove, and the gas bottle, the radio, the survival radio, the wind-up solar-powered radio, loads of stuff, and food and drink, and I'm not sure that the bottle of whiskey was the same visit, but helped me out tremendously. Damien and another bloke called Simon. Simon got me the first tent after the shelter. You got to see those early videos, folks. Please, if you never have, go and watch my first week's worth of videos. See how I was living back in the day. It's kind of quite frightening to look back on. 6 broom handles and a broken tarpaulin. But at least I'd built a bed inside. So yeah, this now where I sit here and I've got electricity and lights, batteries, phone, tablet, camping fridge, freezer. Good evening, Tom. I think I said hello when you arrived. Tom says I still haven't. You still haven't what? Watched the first 3 videos. Oh, don't come here and say that. How dare you? Have I not got a beer open? I don't. I'm on the coffee, I guess, then. Hey, Tina. Are you okay, babe? Let me have a check on my girl. Where's... Okay, you're laying that way around. Okay. Hello, baby. You're going to come and say hello to the peoples? No? You're staying under there? Oh, no, you're coming out. You're coming out this way. Or are you just laying down? Let me show off tea. Let me get a drink of coffee first. And then I'll pimp my girl for the audience that are out there. It's not many. I've pushed you all away with my shopping list. Tom just arrived at the end there, Tom. I'd placed a Temu order yesterday and I was just telling people what I'd ordered. And I think I bored them and they've all left. And then after I bored them with what I'd already ordered, I started to talk about other things that I'm thinking about ordering at some point in the future. Hello, Tina. Hey, babe. Can we cuddle? I bet you're too warm under there, aren't you? She's had her head under the covers for the last hour. And she is actually quite warm. You're snuggling. You're cuddling. You're pushing under me. You're tunneling under your daddy. Okay, babe. I don't know whether you want covering back up or not. I'll try and cover you and see what you do. If you wriggle, I'll uncover you again. Okay? Alright, let me take the light off her, folks. She obviously isn't interested in us. I'm just going to try and sit up a little bit more. I'm slouching and I've already got a bad back from when I did the cooking this afternoon. It's not a proper cookery video for anyone who hasn't seen it. I made the food and then I said, hey, look at this. This is what I made. I didn't do the whole cookery video thing. But it was a big full-on Sunday dinner. It would almost have been a chicken dinner if I'd had any chicken. I did chicken gravy, Yorkshire pudding, roast potatoes, carrots, leeks and celery. And and it's magnificent. And I've got a whole, maybe 2 meals worth Tupperwared away to go at. I was going to say as a midnight snack tonight, maybe, but probably more likely tomorrow for lunch and then dinner. All right, folks, where are we? We're on the 2-hour mark. I am tired. My back is aching. It was very, very nice, Tom. It was. Gravy was maybe a little bit salty. I used a stock cube, and I found my Bisto gravy granules that I'd been looking for around the Christmas period when I was looking to make a Christmas dinner type thing. Not on Christmas Day because it rained all day, but a couple of days later when I cooked. Couldn't find my bloody... This, if you've seen the video, that was why I ended up with a really lumpy gravy, because to thicken it up, I used the remnants of the Yorkshire pudding batter, because it's got flour in. I thought that would thicken it, and it did. But there was just too much there was too much remnants of the Yorkshire pudding batter in the pan I was using. So I ended up with a really tasty gravy at that time, but lumpy, a little bit thick, a little bit old. I knew that the Yorkshire pudding batter would thicken the gravy. It just thickened it too much. There was just too much of it. So today I went with the gravy granules and a stock cube. That was a little bit too much. I should have just used the gravy granules. But it's very nice. A little bit. The gravy, as I said, a little bit salty. That was okay on the Yorkshire puddings, but I'd already salt and peppered the roast potatoes. The roast potatoes came out fantastic. So one of the reasons for doing this, apart from the fact I wanted some food because I'd not eaten for 2 days, one of the things was the last couple of times I've tried roast potatoes, I messed up. Not so much I left them late, so when I did the Christmas dinner, I parboiled the potatoes and I did everything else, and then I'd put the turkey in to cook already, the turkey steaks that I had. I'd put those in already, and I went, oh, I haven't roasted the potatoes. I'd parboiled them, but I'd not finished them. So that was the one between Christmas and New Year. And then last week, I kind of did the same again. I did remember to put them in the pan to roast or fry after parboiling them, but I did it a little late in the proceedings, and I didn't do it long enough. They did get a coating. They got an outer shell, but they didn't brown as much as I would have liked. So today I did that properly. I just did those first. I had to do them in 2 batches though. I used the smaller frying pan, and that means cooking on 1 ring, parboil the potatoes, take them away, roast or fry. I put quite a lot of oil in the pan, so it was almost like deep frying, but not quite. It wasn't just a thin layer of oil in the bottom. It was, the frying pan was half full of oil, so they were pan fried, or I'll call them deep fried, really. But that was, they got a lovely brown coating on the outside, but it took a long time, I think, to do 2 batches. And then I had to cook my veg, and then I had to do my Yorkshire pudding. I did 1 big Yorkshire pudding. I cut that in half and put half of that on the plate, put half away. But then I had a little bit of batter left, and I've got this tray with the 4 depressions, the 4 holes. So I did another batch. I did 4 little Yorkshire puddings. But I had to step inside the tent and do things. And I took my eye off the bowl, and those ended up a little bit more caramelized than you might have liked. There's a band of... I had to turn them over as well. It seems to be a thing with doing things without an oven. Everything needs turning over, which doesn't help with the shape of them, really. You got that nice cup shape that they rise up at the sides, but the the bottom's still too wet, and the very bottom is starting to burn. So you turn them over, and then that cup shape you've got pulls out, and you end up with kind of just a puck rather than a cup where you can put your gravy and your things. But tastes nice enough. If the closest I've got to having them proper, but I just can't maintain that shape because of having to turn things over. But yeah, and then everything's in Tupperware at the end, and I take half of it all and I put it into a dry frying pan back on the heat to warm everything up, get my gravy, and then of course I did a video to show off. And then I sat down and ate it. Very nice, but it was a faff. It took over 3 hours because of all the various stages. A lot of prep up front as well, obviously. Peeling potatoes, carrots. I used a veg peeler. My celery was getting old, so I stripped the woody kind of ridges from the outside. I had to take another layer off the leeks. It was all a bit of a faff. I did do a bit of veg prep for other meals. I've chopped some onions and put those in Tupperware in the fridge. So I'll have like cheese and onion sandwiches or something in the next few days. I'm going to do a pizza in the next few days as well. But we'll see how that goes. The last time I did a pizza, it was delicious. And it was good and thick. It was, but when I picked it up out, it broke. It broke into about 1 million pieces. But each piece was delicious. That's an interesting video. Go look at my Cooking with a Tramp playlist and find when I cooked a pizza. From scratch. Did the dough and everything. But obviously the bread, the dough mixture must have been wrong. So I put my dough in the frying pan. When that top side, when the bottom was done, I flipped it so that's going to be the top. While the very bottom's cooking, I put my tomato and cheese and bell pepper kind of stuff on. I put the toppings on, but it looked fantastic. It was a deep crust pizza. Tasted gorgeous. Tasted just like a pizza should. But when I went to pick it out of the pan, I should have slid it out and onto a plate. I used the fish slice, went under, and it all just crumbled and broke off. The bread mix must have been wrong. But that's life. Tramp, field, trying to cook. What can you do? Okay, folks, where are we? We're on 2 hours 12. I think on 2.5 hours we'll call it a why are you all talking about Glenfiddich? I think Zami asked what's your favourite whiskey way back, and people were chipping in. I don't really have a favourite. I'll drink anything, but a couple of the others, I think it was Zami and Fama, I think it was, both named Glenfiddich as their favourite. I'm not sure I've ever had it. Whoa, Tina Girl. I don't even know if that's a blend or a single malt. I don't know, but it seemed to get the vote of confidence from the group. Oh, unbelievably. Oh, I made that 2.5 or 2 3/4 hours ago, and it's still too hot. This insulated cup labelled Quechua. I think it came from Decathlon. Superb. The other one's okay. The other one works, but this gives an hour more than that, or at least an hour more than the other cup. Almost too hot to drink still. Tina girl, why are you digging your nails into me? What's going on? What's going on? Come on. Can I grab you by the collar and bring you up to the top of the bed, darling? Come on, come this way. Come on up. Here we go, here we go. You seem to be struggling down under there. Are you visible to the masses? Oh, you're just off camera, aren't you? You're just off camera. Can we see whether I can get you on camera? I can't because my hand's going to be in the way of the... My hand would be in the way. Would it? Can I? Oh, yeah, look. Look, look, look. She's down here, folks. Oh! That wasn't the off button that I pressed. Where? Oh, she's just behind here. You can't... If you put your head up, Tina. Are you? No. Oh, you can just see the black at the bottom of my hand. That's Tina, but not quite on camera. I'm sorry, babe. You're not on camera. The people can't see you. Here I am, stroking away and cuddling you. Ain't you warm? You are quite warm. But it's quite warm, too warm. If I roll the blankets back a little bit, I got to put this top one back over. Otherwise, people will see what a mess the quilts are. I don't know, folks. Tom says he's on the oatmeal porridge, if you please. Sounds delicious. On the oatmeal. Why are you all talking about Glenfiddich? We got that one. How frank can we be? I don't think we've got any Franks in here at the minute. None of the Franks are in attendance unless I'm missing something. Whoa! Whoa, I'm not trying to ban anybody. Go away. That's a misclick. Let me... I'm waving my finger. This is bad design on YouTube's part. The controls for the chat are over here where the camera is. We are in live chat. I'll go top chat, live chat. Just in case I've missed anything. Porridge, great, yeah, okay. Oh, gruel? Yeah. Why are you all talking about Glenfiddich? How frank can we be? You can be as frank as you want, mate. You can be as frank as you want. We've lost all of our viewers, though. We're down to 4 according to my readout here. Thumbs up, folks, if you haven't. For any lurkers back there who don't know who, why, what, when, where. I am a British exile in Spain. I am a Brit trapped in Spain by circumstances. Those circumstances being that my bank won't let me have my money. Thousands of pounds in the bank, made to live in a field for 3 years. The only way to get my money is to walk into a British bank, and the Spanish authorities won't let me leave Spain. Therefore, catch-22. I need money to pay a lawyer to get rid of this other shit. And in order to get the money, I have to get over to the UK. Catch-22, isn't it? I need a lawyer so that I can leave Spain, so that I can get my money, and I need money so that I can get the lawyer. Blah, blah. Leaving me trapped in a field. So thank you to Santander. The name sounds like it should be a Spanish bank, but apparently the British part was bought out and is a separate entity, although they do cooperate to some extent under some circumstances, just not my circumstances. Oh, what just happened? Oh, I'm waving the... Design be damned, that's a YouTube design. Fell into the ket vat. I don't know what ket... What's a ket vat? I don't know. Barely hanging on, he says. Barley. No, I think you mean barely. The E and the L would be the other way around for barely. Ket. Don't know. That's maybe a Norwegian word that I don't know. Or it could be a typo. Or it could be my ignorance. I don't know, folks. Could be any of those things. But let's see if we can't get a few more viewers in here. Otherwise, I will be ending it in 10 minutes or so on the 2.5 hour mark. Let's think. I started at 10:30, so 2.5 hours will be 1 o'clock my time, yeah? So we'll look. Yeah, it is indeed 12:51. We'll see. If we get a few more people, if we get up and around 10 viewers, we'll hang on. If not, there's the... It's not, don't take offence, it's not that you're not worth it. But I've had a long day. I've got a bad backache. I haven't taken anything for it. My pharmacy is in the corner here. I've got a shopping bag with what have I got in it? There's some kind of alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, cleaning alcohol. I got soap. I've got earbuds, cotton buds, a few painkillers. I've got some paracetamol and some ibuprofen. Rarely take such things, but I did get a bad back a little while ago, and so I was taking a few. Oh, and I've got some treatments. You remember when I had the bites that got infected? I got a few bits and pieces for that, haven't I? That powder that Karen got me. I'm high as a horse. Oh, so ket a min. Okay. That's what I read ket as meaning. Okay. High as a cat. Are you still in Spain? Are you still in Valencia? I think you are. Let's see if we can't get this coffee finished, and then I can crack open my beer. I don't remember how long ago I finished the previous can. I think that was the can that was already open when I started the stream, wasn't it? I think it was. Got me a half ibuprofen for tomorrow, just in case. In case you have a headache. Aye, Valencia, Gandia. Okay. I saw Google threw me a curveball today. I did my usual search for Torrevieja weather, and it showed me this word, and it showed me, I thought it was showing me the weather for a different area. Torrevieja, or double L, so you're going to go yeah. Torrevieja. And I thought, I'll have to check this out. I was typing in like Torrevieja with a J, you know, the versus the Y, Torrevieja. I thought it was a different place. I thought Google had got all confused. And it turns out Google has started insisting on using the Valenciana language for the name of this place. So Spain has got about, I don't know, is it 14 different languages? There's no such language as Spanish, according to the Spanish. Castellano, which is the main language that we call Spanish, is just the language of, or was initially, the language of one region. And then it got adopted and made the official language. But each region can carry on using its own language as well. And the Valenciana region that we're in, has its own language. And so Torrevieja isn't called Torrevieja by big parts of Spain. Torrevieja. If the double, I'm assuming that the double L is still a Y in the other languages. I don't know Valenciana. But it just threw me that I thought I was getting the weather forecast for a different region. Google just started labeling it differently. Even when I type in weather Torrevieja with a J, it shows me results with the other word, with the other name. And it took me half an hour to confirm that that's here. It's the same area. I'm not seeing someone else's weather forecast. Interesting. After 10 years of being here, I suddenly discovered that the place isn't called Torrevieja. Who knew? That was a real curveball. That mind blown. But half an hour of my day lost just trying to check the weather. Or off, wasn't just checking the weather. Obviously, if you've seen me before, if you've ever been here before, you'll know that when I don't know something, I have to, like the Lee Marvin versus the other one. Oh, I got to go back and do the same fucking search again because I can't remember the name. And why is that not scrolling? And now why is it not doing anything? Oh, you've not done it again. You have. Oh, you piece of shit. James Coburn, I just remembered. Has it done? It has done that again, hasn't it? I did manage to make this reboot yesterday Friday when it did this. Now, which do you have to press first? Down and then that, and just hold it. They say 6 to 20 seconds, so you just hold. And when it comes on, it'll say kernel panic in the bottom briefly. No. Yeah, there it was. There was 3 lines of debug info just for a fraction of a second. But I don't even need to look up the thing I was looking up because I got there. I still don't know who did which film. I don't know which one of them's which. Sorry, if you weren't here earlier, I don't know how I got on the topic. We were talking about Clint Eastwood and actors and old films. I still don't know how we got there. But Lee Marvin versus James Coburn became a thing. To use USB device, unlock your tablet. That's because you're fully powered and there's USB in. You think that the EcoFlow is a USB device. It's a power source, you fool. Tablet is starting. Okay, folks, I think I'll have my tablet available in a moment. But I don't need it. The thing I was trying to find out, I found out. Okay, 2:27, 2 hours 27 minutes in. We will be wrapping up in 3 minutes, folks, I'm afraid. I got a bad back. I am sitting at a funny angle. Tina is a little bit... What's the word? Oh, that's a nice cuddle, darling. Hey. You okay? Tina's a little bit unsettled. I'm not sure why. In the video earlier, after I finished cooking and was about to eat, and I cut to Tina to say, kind of, from Tina and from Delta Mike out. When I went to do that, she was shaking, and I still don't know why. She wasn't cold. Wasn't that cold. There hadn't been any fireworks. There hadn't been any buses or anything that would have caused her to change your pin now. Why did I read it out again? I do that sometimes. I read it out when I'm... Oh no, I'd rebooted it and it was asking me to go in. It's unlocked now, it's fine. Samsung haven't... See the tap. Nobody's going to be stealing my tablet. It's only the pin for that. It doesn't get reused anywhere else. I remember internet security professional once upon a time. Different usernames and passwords and things all over the place. I could tell you the pin for this or a password for something. You're not going to be able to log into my Amazon or into my whatever else. They're all different. They kind of follow a pattern, but I'm not going to discuss that in any depth. I need some way, me and my memory. I need some way of remembering shit. But no, it's all good. But Samsung haven't released a security update for a couple of months, and I find that weird that I'm getting this crash after I updated everything a couple of weeks ago, I flashed the firmware on the EcoFlow, which is always a fucking challenge. I updated one UI, however it's pronounced, on these two devices, and did various other updates and things. And then I start getting issues where the tablet gets a kernel panic. Now, it only happens, so far it's always happened at night, I think, hasn't it? So maybe it's only when it's cold. So it could be a temperature thing. It's only this tablet. It has been dropped a couple of times. It's got a couple of bumps on it. But now I know how to reboot it when it does happen. So it's not a big problem. I even have backup tablets now, don't I? I've got spare. Tramp field. Am I a tramp or am I a glamp? With all my devices and techno shit. How long you been there, Jack? You've been there since the beginning lurking, or you just got here? So low. I bored everybody in the middle of the stream and they all left me. So we've got low audience numbers. We're finishing any moment now. Popping in and out. Well, I'm about to finish, mate. Tom's phone gives the weather for the next town. Hold on. The road signs are hard enough. Yeah. But yeah, I just discovered that Torrevieja's got a totally different name in the local language. Who knew? It's not that totally different, but yeah. All right, folks, I think we're done. I'm going to... she is laying here. She's cooling down now a bit and settling down. So maybe she was too warm. She spent an hour with her head under the covers. I'm going to draw it to a close. Bad back. Tired, and I just want to lay down and relax a little while. I'm gonna finish in the manner to which hopefully you've become accustomed by now, and I'll see you all next time. But here we go, babe. Let's just show the peoples. By and large, I don't know why the camera is kind of zoomed in. She's bigger on the phone than she's in real life. Hello, babe. Oh, you're cuddling your daddy. You're cuddling your daddy. Yeah. Hey. Oh, that's a nice cuddle. Okay, folks. From Tina. I missed the button. And from me, Delta Mike. I missed the button again. Out. Catch you later, guys.